This weekend, the Sports Car Club of America returns to America's National Park of Speed, Road America. Across 2 grueling days of competition, 23 champions will be crowned in an event unique in motorsports. For over 400 drivers, a season's toil culminates in this single event with the chance to earn a coveted gold medal and the title of national champion in the 62nd edition of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Sunoco. As the sun starts to set over the horizon, the 2 fastest classes in the SCCA are ready to square off with national championships up for grabs at America's National Park of Speed, Road America. Hello and welcome to the 62nd Annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Sunoco. Live coverage coming your way courtesy of Mazda. My name is Ryan Marine. Larry McLeod is alongside, and Hayward Wagner is down on the grid. And what a grid it is. For the first time, these 2 classes combined into a single race, but it's 2 distinct races, Larry, that will be happening simultaneously. 2 national champions will be crowned in the next 30-40 minutes. 2
of the fastest champions we're going to see all week long with the Atlantics and the prototypes. It's all about speed here for the next 40 minutes or less, a lot less.
For the late-breaking stories on the grid, let's get to our own Hayward Wagner.
Guys, we're staying at the front of the prototype grid, our pole-sitting car right here for prototypes. These are such cool little race cars. Lots of carbon bits, lots of aero bits, low slung, high revving, low displacement, lightweight cars. There's about, I would say, a dozen or so of these cars here. You can see the second car in grid, a very different philosophy with the exposed suspension components going up into the nose of the car, a lot more aero there on the side of it. What's going to be interesting about this race is that this is going to be the second class to run. They'll be the second class to pace. They will be following the Atlantics. Now, the way that things work when we have 2 classes is whichever class qualifies the fastest goes at the front. The slower class, in theory, goes behind them. Well, it turns out the only Atlantic that's faster than the prototype field is the one on pole. So you've got a prototype race that's faster than the Atlantics that's behind. So we're going to see traffic management for these cars very quickly.
That's a really interesting point. Hey, we're really fascinating to look at that. Hans Peter, by the way, who qualified on pole in Formula Atlantic, that is the one Atlantic car that was quicker than the pace setters in the prototypes, and he was flirting with that magical 2-minute threshold. Didn't get under it, but came within a second, which is pretty remarkable. It's been a fast weekend here despite the heat.
Yeah, it has been, but it's been getting hotter all week. They were really fast on Thursday. Of course, Friday they had to qualify in even warmer conditions, so that lap set there by Peter, that sub 201, in those better conditions. I don't know that we're going to see anywhere near that 159 lap record from years past in this race today, but it's going to be fast. It's going to get hot for the drivers and the cars. You're going to have to manage that heat.
Well, we talked about it being a new dynamic when you're combining these 2 classes in the national championships for the first time. Another new dynamic is this consolidated prototype field. Gone are the distinctions, P1, P2. It's all now boiled down into one class, which has meant some major adjustments for several of these prototypes that might look the same as they've run in the past on the outside, but they're very much altered on the inside.
Yeah, they are. As a lot of you're going to see some drivers running the traditional P2s. They won't necessarily be at the front. The front seems to be these D2 and P1s that are out there, but everybody's bought new cars, and we'll get to all that in a bit.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say plenty of time, but we do have time to get through it. But this race, if it goes green, should be really fast with these 2 classes right around the 2-minute mark, around a bad fast racetrack. 14 turns, 4 miles, and some really interesting corner combinations as well.
Yeah, and in these cars, it's high speed, apex speed in these things. They were going to roar into turn 1. They'll be coming off at 3, down the back straight, absolute speed. There is some draft as they got some aero on these things, and each one we'll talk about how the aero works out, but getting close can be difficult, disrupts the aero. Then you get to the slower corners, 5 and 6 around that Corvette bridge, around the hurry downs into turn 8. Could be even a passing zone for some of them if they can get a run through there. The carousel speeds are going to be amazing. We get through the kink, we get to the last sector, more speed. We get into the best passing zone down into Canada Corner at 12. Then you'll see them sweep around 13 with all the grip in the world. And then they'll get to 14. It's a little bit of a strange camber and of loss through that corner. You're going to see some sliding, probably using a little bit of curb, and then the roar down the front straight one more time.
There's Gumby down on the grid. And what do we say about the prototype classes?
Well, you know, rules are flexible, like Gumby.
There he is, right there, Johnny on the spot. How about that? Well, you know, you look at these 2 classes, and there is some chassis disparity in Formula Atlantic, not too much, and even within the Swift category, you'll see a couple different options. Prototype, it's wide open. We'll talk all about that as we get through this show, but let's take a quick timeout, and when we come back, the green flag for the championship race for Formula Atlantic and Prototype.
Okay, track day checklist. Let's go. You got your gloves, your helmet, water, snacks, sunscreen, your car is prepped and ready to go. Oof, forgot your track day insurance, didn't you? If you want to be covered for the whole value of your car, you need high-performance driver education coverage through Hagerty. We'll get you a policy for track days, time trials, and more in less time than it took you to apply that sunscreen. Hagerty, let's drive together.
Choose joy. Choose the road. Choose your people. Choose your shot. Take it. Choose to get in there. Even better, get out there. That's it. Way out there. Choose your calling. Choose to really care. Choose to go for it. Just choose. We craft cars for those who choose to do more than simply move.
I wake up.
My name is Danny Richardson.
Eileen Blondo.
I'm Ryan Chi,
I'm Connor Zilish.
I'm from the San Francisco region.
part of the Central Carolina region of SCCA.
It just fosters the best, not only in me, but in the cars that I could bring.
I grew up around this amazing community that created me for who I am today.
I belong to the SCCA.
I belong to the SCCA.
I belong to the SCCA.
I belong to the SCCA because every time I come to an event, I feel like I'm at home.
Shopping for tires used to really rub me the wrong way. That was before I went to TireRack.com. TireRack's tire decision guide made it easy to find the right tires. Talk about secret sauce. You might ask, well, you bought them, now how are you gonna put them on? No problem. TireRack has thousands of recommended installers. I chose one that does mobile installation. A technician brought the tires right to my house. He's installing them now.
Almost finished, Herb.
Take your time. I'm just marinating. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
The cars are starting to roll out on the formation laps here at Road America, and on a drama-filled day, the drama continues to erupt, especially in the Formula Atlantic class, Larry.
Yeah, we now are seeing that Tony Ave, obviously one of the names, one of the favorites, all of a sudden had a mechanical issue down to the grid. Sounds like a paddle shifting problem. They were late to get out. They're not going to be able to start with the rest of the Atlantics, and I believe up front, you saw him as we were looking at the prototypes, where the second group out, he may end up starting behind them. That could be interesting.
That car was rolling in the background down the pit lane, but you're right, it does not look like Tony will be able to take his scheduled outside front row qualifying position. Really impressive performance from the veteran Ave, who does not have extensive single-seater experience, but he's already been on track quite a bit here this weekend in various classes, and of course a multi-time champion in his own right. But difficult way for his final race of the day to get underway. Here's how we'll line up in Formula Atlantic. Hans Peter is the Tire Rack Pole Award winner. Tony Ave was set to start alongside. Then it's Dudley Fleck and IMSA champion James French. Shane Kennett and John McAleer, they make up row number 3 to the 4th row. That's where you'll find Riley Harris and J.R. Smart starting 7th and 8th respectively. Canadian Jeremy Hill starts alongside John Norton in the 5th row of the Formula Atlantic grid, and then David T. Burkett and Bill Johnson starting 11th and 12th. That's how the Atlantic cars have qualified, but again, that's been shaken up by the issues on the grid for Tony Ave, and we hope he can at least get into the race because that car has shown great pace, and I think we saw him in the background, but he might have taken the cutoff in turn 5, so we'll keep an eye on that story. Meanwhile, in the prototype class, Lee Alexander on pole next to hometown hero Lawrence Loshak, Jason Miller and Bart Wolf some more Milwaukee natives making up row number 2, make that Wisconsin natives. Vanacore and Richardson starting 5th and 6th. Then it's Tyler Thielman and John Godin. Mike Rupert starts out in 9th next to Todd Parks. Brian Lindstrand from Bristol, Wisconsin starts next to Richard Colburn in the 6th row of the grid. Michael Moulton, William B. Niemeyer Jr., and Greg Case is how they will line up for this consolidated prototype field, which has such a wonderful disparity in equipment, different sights, different sounds, very different philosophies as well about how to generate pace in those prototype cars.
Yeah, because you can do so many things with aero and even with the different combinations of engines. So now you're seeking out the best combination for this track in these conditions, whether you're running the prototypes at 2.3 and 2.0 and 2.5 or a 1000. There's all kinds of motors. Even in the Atlantics, there's the Swift 14s, the 16s. There's a Formula 1000 in this group. There's a Pro Formula Mazda that's going to be in this group. Yes, there's a lot of ways to solve the riddle in this one.
Shaping up to be a good one. Final race of day 1 of Hagerty Race Days here at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Sunoco. We thank you so much for joining us all day long and sticking with us for this final race. 2 champions will be crowned at the end of 13 laps. We'll see who comes out on top. Hans Peter from Olathe, Kansas, who got down under the 201 threshold in qualifying, has the field in tow, coming up the hill, looking for that acceleration zone. It's the pole sitter's decision when to go when the field gets to that acceleration zone, which they're approaching now, and immediately he steps on it, starts to pull away. In the 66, the red machine grabs that lead from the get-go, and they fan out further back. It's too wide in places, but the top 2, well, they were single file, but then poking the nose out is that beautiful number 74 car, Dudley Fleck from Iowa, challenging for the lead, but has to settle back in.
Yeah, a lot of single file now as they try to get a little bit of heat in the tires and get that run off of turn 3 as the little bit of overcast. You can see the shadows now forming on that back straight a little bit as the sun's starting to come down a little bit. But so maybe the track temps have cooled a hair, but it still takes a little bit to get some heat in them, and as our prototypes get ready to take green.
Here we go. Prototype field now entering the acceleration zone themselves. And Lee Alexander from Springfield, Tennessee, wasting no time, jumping out to the lead. Qualified on pole by 7/10 of a second over Lawrence Loshak, a multi-time SCCA Runoffs champion, but new to the prototype class.
Yeah, great to see Lawrence back here in the prototypes. That is wonderful. But that start was impressive to me because Alexander's actually in one of the 1000cc engine cars in this, I think it's a Kawasaki, where he's got these, actual 4-cylinder engines, piston motors behind him, and they've got torque. Well, he managed to manage that very well, stayed in the right gear, and was able to hold through turn 1 and 3 on this opening lap, which may bode well for him because he's about to get to the part of the track where he needs to be light, and he is the lightest thing at the front of this field.
Yeah, that car should excel as they enter Sector 2, which they do right now. Battle further back as the 19 machine, Todd Vanacore, embroiled in a battle, able to sort that out at the bottom of the hill in turn 5. Under the Corvette bridge to a blind turn 6, that's the left-hander. Turn 7, right-hander, leads to Hurry Downs and a good passing opportunity at turn 8. To the front of the field, though, and from pole, it's still Hans Peter showing the way, and looks like those tires are starting to get up to temperature as he puts the car through its paces.
Pretty well matched there for Fleck, though, trying to maintain the pace here on this opening lap. These guys last year had an amazing finish to the race between Hans Peter and Dudley Fleck. Peter lost out by just, the margin was, I think, less than 1/10 of a second. Unbelievable stuff.
91 hundredths of a second,
yes,
if you want to be precise, and I know you do, Larry. Yeah, it was super, super close a year ago, but here this week, at least, Hans Peter has had the measure of the Atlantic field with a dominating run to the Tire Rack Pole Award, his 5th career Runoffs pole, and it was a qualifying track record in the Atlantic class as well. Battle further back, and actually, that's Fleck falling back now. He's back to 4th place. It's James French that was able to sneak by. No, Shane Kennedy, excuse me. French had already made the pass and now runs in 2nd spot. There he comes in the 46. James French, who made an Indy Lights start, as it was then known, here at Road America back in 2017. IMSA champion, class wins at the 24 Hours of Daytona, 12 Hours of Sebring, and Petit Le Mans.
Well, whatever that was for Fleck, he seems to have recovered a little bit there.
Gotta love the classic Miller Lite livery on that car as well. It's
Looks
sharp.
great.
Evokes a lot of memories. As he's back on the attack here, so you're right. Seems to have settled back in nicely. A little lock up there.
Yeah.
Kennett goes wide. Does that open the door? I think it might.
It might. Fleck may have backed off for a second just to kind of see which way Kennett was going to go, but he's got the position now. I just wonder if perhaps in the back straight if he had his own braking issue or maybe missed a shift or something that didn't quite work and caused him to lose those positions. Seems to be okay now, though, because they're back on the front straight. He's now got to go and try and chase up to James French, who seems to be doing well here on that second lap.
Not a surprise. He knows the track extremely well. Tested a Formula One car here in his youth. I remember a story that his dad took him out of school to get a chance to drive. I think it was an ex-Benetton Formula One car, maybe a Michael Schumacher era, if memory serves. And
Father of the Year for that. Take him out of school to drive an F1 car on Road America? Yes, please.
No kidding. Putting that track knowledge to use. Running a strong second right now. About 0.8 of a second off of Hans Peter's pace-setting speed. Let's drop back, shall we, to the prototype class. That's where Alexander had a 1.3 second lead the last time across the line. Let's check this time.
And it looks like it may have grown. I think he's starting to get warmed up, and look at the much larger but packed up cars behind him. They're all still battling right there.
Yeah.
I think that's Bart Wolf.
It is, exactly right. Bart jumps up a spot. Loshak's now dropped 2 positions in one fell swoop. Jason Miller also able to come on by. And look at Loshak trying to fight back.
These three, I got to use it once, these 3 cheeseheads here having a heck of a battle here with Wolf and Loshak and Jason Miller. Obviously, they know each other very, very well. Something about Bart Wolf and Jason's wedding. I mean, these guys go way back. And you can see that this fight is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I tell you, walking through the prototype and talking to these guys this week, they're worried about Miller's pace, as Loshak there may have had a bit of an issue into braking.
Interesting. Sorts it back out and continues on. 19 car is Todd Vanacore, so
that may have been the one that actually had the issue. There was the 19.
Yeah, pressuring Loshak though. And this is the multi-class aspect that is new for 2025, as the front runners in prototype do catch some of those looking for some pace in Formula Atlantic, but heads-up driving there to keep that line to the inside open and not hinder the race leaders in the other class.
Yeah, that actually is, that car is a pro Formula Mazda, so it's not the powerful Toyotas or Mazda-powered Swifts that are at the front. So yeah, his pace isn't quite there as part of the previous consolidation of some of the Formula classes where the Formula Mazda, the Formula Bs, the Formula As all got put together.
You look at the speed disparity in qualifying. It's close to 20 seconds from the very front of the field to the very back in the qualifying times. There are always extenuating circumstances though, but race control will be keeping a close eye on that. And if it's deemed that a driver is not keeping the pace within the 115% threshold, you might see them black flagged off. Just saw somebody make their way to the pits, and that was looked like a rear wing that had been knocked off of one of the Atlantic cars. Didn't catch a number, but just saw that in the background. And here it is, the 00.
It is, just right here in front of us, in fact.
Jeremy Hill, the veteran Canadian. Had a chat with him earlier in the weekend, and he was telling me they just really struggled.
Just looks like wing collapse.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything like contact. It just, the fasteners, the rivets, whatever it is, gave out.
Yeah, but Jeremy just hasn't been able to come to grips with this chassis here at the Runoffs this year. Has extensive experience, raced Formula Atlantics professionally in the 80s against some pretty big names that made it to IMSA or to the Indy 500. Took a bit of a hiatus, but back at it now. Unfortunate, though, not the way he drew up his runoffs here this weekend.
French now looks like he may be getting it done.
Dudley Fleck, the reigning champ, also picking up the pace. We can check the lap times. Fleck actually has the fastest lap of the race. It was a 2:02.8 the last time by. That was half a second clear of anybody else in the class.
Yeah, another 10th he picks up there on his fastest lap of the race, as he's now right on the back of French. So that battle for second in FA is definitely on. They're only about a second and a half back from Peter, and each of them were faster than Hans in the last lap. So it is closing up. You can see it there as they go under the Sargento Bridge. It's a little bit closer, several car lengths closer than they were.
It does make you wonder what happened to Dudley on that opening lap where we lost all the track position. Whatever it is, it seems to have been rectified now. Looking a bit threatening there, but James French, for the moment, able to keep him in check. J.R. Smart leading this triumvirate. John Norton giving chase, and David Burkett just behind. That was 7th, 8th, and 9th in Atlantics.
Yeah, we take a look at this. That is your, I believe, new leader here in our prototypes. That is Bart Wolf, your P2 champ from 2024. Local boy, literally his shop is on my way to my hotel. It's just practically across the street. And I think he may have made the pass on Alexander. He was getting awfully close in the previous lap. He just set fastest lap of the race, did Bart Wolf, at a 2:02.1. So yeah, he's got that lead now.
Won the class at the June Sprints earlier this year. This is how the move was made, and I'll tell you what, that was no contest. Wow, powerful.
Yeah, wondering if maybe there's something wrong with the Alexander machine. If the power plant just isn't quite able to keep up right now. Again, that's that 1-liter engine there in the Alexander car. Maybe a little bit, little underpowered at this point, as the Wolf machine just blew right on by.
Alexander not letting him get away. Again, this is where we expect the former race leading car, the 48, to be strong through this section of the track. Lightweight, but less powerful than the car that's now come to the front.
Yeah, you talk about how much less weight. The Alexander car is min weight spec'd at 1,000 pounds. Bart Wolf's spec weight is 1,500 pounds, 50% heavier than Lee Alexander's car. It's also in Bart Wolf's a 2.5-liter Mazda as opposed to the 1,000cc Kawasaki. So there's some differences in power and certainly in weight. And if Alexander's not keeping up to this tight stuff, as we've got a pass now in Canada, and it looks like
Vanacore might have an issue. Saw some smoke. I thought it might be a lockup, but no, look at the left rear.
Is it down?
It's either down or maybe it's
rubbing.
Oh, it is flat.
Yeah.
Yep, there's the telltale sign. And Vanacore had been running in the 5th position.
Yeah, our 2023 P1 champ from a couple of years ago. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to repeat that magic here today.
Floridian has to limp it back to the pit lane.
Well, whatever was up with Alexander, he seemed to have matched pace now. He's got it back. You never know with these cars. Sometimes they, you start getting an issue with the shift system where suddenly one lap it kind of goes out and then it comes back in. The issue they're going to run into, I think, is that Jason Miller is starting to close up as well on them.
Keep tabs on that. But now checking in the fight for second place in the Atlantic class. Peter has upped his pace. He saw French and Fleck were closing in, and suddenly he's dropped his pace down to the mid-202s. That was 1.3 seconds clear of second place, James French, on that last lap. So it becomes a battle for second and third, and not too far back. Shane Kennett not out of this conversation either.
Very close battle between them.
And traffic.
Yes. All mixed traffic, in fact. In that group, I think you've got Colbrin and then 97.
Quite right. Peter goes around the outside. Oh, this is really tight for second and third in Atlantic. Nowhere to go, and quite frankly, they caught another battle for position. Oh, and side-by-side contact. That's big. Fleck, the defending champion, in strife. French is in the wall, so second and third eliminated in the multi-class conundrum.
Oh, that is awful. What a great battle that was. There's just so much traffic in there. I don't know if we can do anything else, but probably going to see a full course here to be able to clear those. That's a tough spot for both of them there. Here we go.
Yeah, got to make sure both drivers are all right as well. Not an insignificant impact for either car, and there's plenty of debris on the racetrack too. Let's look at this again from the other angle.
Oh, wow.
So it started there with Fleck making contact with one of the prototypes.
I want to say that might have been Michael Moton in the 77.
I think so. It was a double numeral. I couldn't tell if it was...
I start to wonder because he had kind of like cars on both sides,
Right.
and he was focusing on one and not the other and sort of moved the wrong way in this case. That's just unfortunate there.
Also unfortunate is poor James French, all on his own, and next thing he knew, he had a car spearing across the track and collecting him. There he is.
Yeah.
Side of the road. From nearby Sheboygan. Former Runoffs champ in his own right. Mentioned all of his pro racing accolades, but spent a lot of time in SCCA, two-time Runoffs champion. Also an Asian Le Mans Series LMP2 champion back in the 1920 Winter Series. But not to be today. This wipes out the advantage for Hans Peter, although it also wipes away his two closest pursuers. Meanwhile, this just brings this fight back together in the prototype class.
Yeah, and with both these classes, the struggle will be to keep the car at the right temperature during this slow period. With the ups, the downs, cars often either take a while to refire or they start to just change how they behave when you go on pace to off pace. This might actually be a good thing for Lee Alexander, maybe, if he was having an issue, to get back underneath on this restart, underneath Bart Wolff. That'll be interesting to see those two very different cars.
Well, I'm also curious about Miller sitting in third. You said that's a name that you heard a lot, walking around talking to the protagonists, and all of a sudden now he gets to close back in.
Yeah, everybody's comment about him was that six-cylinder two-stroke gets out of the corners. It's got a lot of oomph, and sometimes I know in watching that car the last number of years get to do this is sometimes that car just needs a couple laps to get up to the proper temp. It's a two-stroke, 6 pipes out the back of this thing. They all got to get to the right temperature, and if they don't, it takes them a bit to warm up. So maybe this is the best thing for him as local boy. He's right here in town. And he knows his track, obviously, and that's part of what everybody's worried about. Track knowledge and a car that's got the oomph to make the pass.
He was a runner-up to Bart Wolff at the June Sprints earlier this year. 5 podiums in 26 previous Runoffs appearances dating back to 1996. Sits in the 3rd spot and very much in contention. Behind the safety car for the first time in this combined Formula Atlantic and Prototype National Championship race. We'll step aside for a couple of minutes and be right back here at Road America.
Do you want to get started autocrossing, but you're looking around and thinking, man, I got to buy a new car? Maybe not. Say you want to get into track days, but you're looking around and thinking, I got to spend a fortune on Go Fast parts. Maybe not. Maybe you want to get into time trials, but you're looking around and thinking, man, I got to buy a new truck and trailer for this. Maybe not. With SCCA Club Spec, you just might have the car you need already, and it just might look like one of these two. S197 Mustang if you like V8s and torque, NC Miata if you like compact and agile. SCCA Club Spec, spirited dailies, competitive race cars. Learn more at SCCA.com.
Still behind the safety car here. First safety car intervention of this race. Would like to take a moment to say a heartfelt thanks to all of the volunteers and staff around the circuit and all throughout the year that have helped to make this SCCA season possible and to make this 62nd annual National Championship Runoffs run as smoothly as it has. New format, everyone's learning together a little bit, condensed down to just 2 Hagerty race days, and it meant a more condensed qualifying in the build up to it as well, but by and large, it seems to have been well received, and it means we have 2 action-packed days here today and then, of course, tomorrow.
Yeah, very action-packed. These races are intense, and when you take 2 groups that maybe would have had a little easier races for the workers, the stewards, and everybody else, now they are doing them combined. It's a lot more to track. The emergency services teams are working extra hard for situations like this to have to make these kind of pulls. So we appreciate all the effort they've put in, but it definitely is a lot of extra pressure to get that done in such a tight format.
Yeah. Well, we knew there would be some growing pains when you combine these 2 classes for the first time, as we've done here, and the multi-class aspect of it certainly has had a part to play in the proceedings here today. 2 of the leading contenders in Formula Atlantic eliminated in one accident. It appeared that both the prototypes in the vicinity were able to continue on. But the one element of this where the mixed class nature could yet have an even greater impact is how the classes are all mixed up together coming to the restart. And as far as we're aware, that's the way it will remain. No class split or anything to that effect.
Yeah, because I'm seeing already there's a couple of cars that are a lap down. We're going to wait and see if they get the point buy or something. Namely, I think we see the Colburn prototype that's right behind our overall race leader, Hans Peter. We'll see if they're given any kind of a point buy.
Cleanup continues. It looks like we'll have at least 1 more lap behind the pace car. There's James French's machine. Hate to see that. He was giving it a spirited run.
Yeah, he really did. He was just having a great race in there. They were just starting to pick up that pace. To have it go away that way, it's heartbreaking.
So much effort, of course, goes into these events. This could be potentially problematic as well.
Yeah, it's the 2-stroke smoke coming out of the Miller car. You always have the corner workers. They'll call it in, say, hey, the car is smoking a little bit, but it's pretty normal in the 0 car there. The win first. Those guys work so hard. And I was talking to Jason yesterday, and he says he does this for his crew, for his team, because they just enjoy getting the car out, working so hard on it. He wants to give them that reward of a podium finish, a strong finish. But he also, even just in a casual conversation, Jason wanted to just tell me that how much he appreciates the workers, the people that come out and put these events on, that really is the heart of these events, and he certainly recognizes that.
Well, we mean it when we say it. It is not possible to go racing, period, without the help of volunteers, but especially not at this scale. And logistically, you think about everything that goes into running an event of this magnitude. Over 400 drivers entered, coming in from all over the country, plus further afield in some instances as well. It is quite a logistical challenge, and then once everybody's here to make sure that tech runs smoothly, the races run smoothly, everything else behind the scenes, it's a monumental effort. But also an opportunity for those that want to get involved in motorsports. So many different ways to do it. It's not just about the driving or turning a wrench. And at the SCCA, if you've got a skill set, chances are they've got a job that you can help step in and fill a void. So I encourage you to check out the club's website for more information on how you can get involved. But for the moment, we can just enjoy the spectacle here late in the afternoon. The sun's starting to set over the horizon. It's a gorgeous place any time of year, but especially here in the autumnal gloaming this time of year.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to the Road America folks here, how well they keep this place up. It really is a beautiful park. You just come here if you just want to go and have a picnic, in the sunshine. This place is beautiful for that too. And oh yeah, by the way, there's race cars doing 175 miles an hour right around the corner from you. But it is just gorgeous. The facilities are absolutely the best that I've ever seen. It is just wonderful. As they're maybe giving point buys now to some of those lap cars, as Bart Wolf maybe letting them by, as he would be at least the prototype leader.
Now that is good to see. I wasn't sure that we would get a class split, but it looks like maybe that's what's taking place here. And in some respects, that might help prevent the classes tripping over one another.
At least for a lap or so.
Right, depending on how much of a gap they give each other.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be happening comprehensively. So anyway, we'll have to let that work itself out.
Yeah, there's still one or two at the back of this, but I think now those cars are behind the rest of the prototype group, and it could be that the last two might be laps down, so they're going to stay there. What you'll probably see Bart Wolf do as your prototype leader is he'll back off tremendously before they get here to Canada. If they're going to go green next time, I don't think we've heard that yet, but once they are ready to go green, he'll give a pretty big gap to the FAs in front of him. Lights are out, though.
That's what we wanted to see. There is still some prototype traffic splitting the overall leader, Hans Peter, from Shane Kennett, who runs in second place. 2 out-of-class cars in between the top 2 in Atlantic. Kennett, though, solidly in the medals. Riley Harris, haven't said that name much today, but solidly in third. John McAleer and David T. Burkett right there as well. That's the top 5 as they run. It will be 4 laps to go when the green flag comes out once again, and it shouldn't be long now as the pace car makes that right-hand turn up the hill into the pit lane.
These 2 prototypes will likely pull themselves aside, recognizing the situation, let the Atlantics through.
Race leader Hans Peter approaching the acceleration zone. When he goes, everyone else can go. And there he is, pushing down the right pedal and accelerating away, as you predicted, Larry. Lap traffic moving to one side to allow the Formula Atlantic cars to play through. Still, though, and a decided advantage for Peter because he had that buffer, able to pull a gap. Did look like Kennett was able to clear the traffic, and he'll set off in pursuit of the race leader now.
It's going to be a little bit dicey. I thought Goldberg would give up a little bit more spots, but he's just being gentle now, letting everyone go. He's got one more over his shoulder here before they get to the back straight. And then, of course, you got the leaders in prototype already there. I'm a bit surprised Wolf didn't back them up a little bit further, but here he is. This is going to be hectic going into 5.
Well, and Bart's got to go. He can't wait around because he's got tons of company in behind him in the form of Lee Alexander and Jason Miller.
In fact, Miller's ahead of him as they go into 5.
How about that? You called the name early, Larry, and you were spot on. Jason Miller, opportunistic, getting to the point. Now this is really tight. Comers and goers, the 2 classes mixed together, and it is pandemonium here late in the day.
Oh, this is crazy. Miller's got to be looking in his mirror so strong. He's trying to figure out when not to go past. Look at the move here for Wolf. He's going to take a look, at least fill some mirrors.
Blue and black prototype, that's now the leader in the clash. That's Joel Miller from third on the restart to the lead. Bart Wolf, the local, whose team is looking after several cars in this class. Problems behind,
but
Loshak. It is.
Is he able to move from there as he just slid through the gravel at the outside of the carousel? We'll have to see if he's able to clear himself.
Lawrence had slipped down to 5th in class coming to the restart. Didn't look like he hit anything, but is he beached?
And here comes Perry Richardson now right up behind Wolf. He's in that pink trimmed car.
They call him the Commodore, and he's on the charge right now. Perry Richardson getting closer now, looking to the inside, making a lunge, and he'll take the spot away down in turn 14. How about that?
Yeah, well, I mentioned how sometimes these cars need to get back on form, back up to temp, and I'm wondering now if Wolf's having trouble getting his car up to that working temp, get the tires to refire and all that, and it's taking him this first lap after the restart to do it. He may now finally have it. He's going to have to start making a charge. He is the biggest car of these 3, and there may just be a lot more to warm up with the little cars just saying, let's go, go, go.
Here comes Perry Richardson. Carbon and pink, but he might have an issue having just got to second. Oh, it's full course yellow.
Yep. I wonder if this is for Loshak down at the carousel.
And time is running out. If they can't get that car extricated quickly.
Yeah, there's Loshak. He was not able to get that moved. Oh, that's unfortunate.
It is. So Hans Peter still leads in Atlantic. Kennett and Harris now up into the 3rd spot. Jason Miller leads in the prototype class. Here's another look at what happened to Lawrence Loshak.
Yeah, I start to wonder if it's a mechanical thing and the rear end just locked up right in that mid-corner, and then he just got sent into a spin, which might explain why he's not able to move the car as opposed to contact that he might be able to recover from. We'll have to see what happens when they try to drag him out of there.
Indications are not positive, I'm afraid to say. We're expecting the checkered flag next time by. So, barring some kind of surprise, it's Hans Peter set to take home the 2025 title in Formula Atlantic. Meanwhile, how about Jason Miller on that restart, using the traffic perfectly, goes from third to the lead, and with this yellow, earns a national title.
Oh, that'll be unbelievable for Jason. That whole team, oh, that's going to be great. Red local in Plymouth, he grew up here, he's been racing here for years.
For Peter, it will be a 4th national title, just adding to his illustrious history. And really had the field covered, I think it's safe to say. Look at the qualifying times, and that backs it up.
I think he was a bit nervous considering these restarts, and how he lost out last year by just the smallest amount. A little bit of revenge, a little bit of for that. Look at that.
It's under yellow, but it still counts the same. Hans Peter sees the checkered flag first and takes home a 4th SCCA Runoffs National Championship, and following him through, the leader in the prototype class. Congratulations, Jason Miller, for the first time an SCCA Runoffs National Champion.
Yeah, he saw that whole team out there at the wall. Oh, yeah. This means a lot to these guys.
Jason had been second twice. He's had that silver medal. Hayward likes to point out how difficult it often is to finish second in a race of this magnitude. But now he gets the top step of the podium.
Yeah, I can't wait to see his interviews. He's just, again, as he was talking about his team last night and how much this meant to them. Yeah. Now, we may have a replay that would be fun to watch here. We'll see if we can get this queued up.
Might give us some insight on exactly how Jason Miller got to the front of the prototype class and then secured a national title. Let's look back at it here. Keep an eye for the blue car. Right-hand side of the screen.
He gets such a run. He is completely uninterrupted through 3, and then you can see Bart Wolf had to check up for the 2 cars in front of him, and Jason just had the run of runs.
And then eyes on the carbon and pink car of Richardson, too, who must have found a way through at the same place. That's the move around the outside for the lead. Richardson was still behind, so I'm not entirely clear on how he was able to get up to finish where he did.
I think Richardson may have gotten Bart then going into Canada later in the lap as we were waiting for Bart to get that car warmed up, and Jason just all the opportunity. Car was ready, he was ready. Beautiful stuff.
It was perfection. And hard-earned when you have to try and sort through all that traffic. Probably not something he's terribly used to, but got it done. Well, fantastic result as we come to an end of Hagerty race day number 1 at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Still 9 races to go tomorrow. So you'll want to join us either here trackside or on the live coverage presented by Mazda. Still plenty of drama yet to unfold, but for today, we cap off a busy day with a couple of national champions.
Not a sleeper in the mix today. Every single race, just excitement right up to the end. And you know tomorrow's going to be the same way.
No question about it. A shake of the head, and you can almost see the smile through the carbon helmet for Hans Peter. Crew there to celebrate with him. Swan Motorsports supporting the entry. Hans has that helmet off. Get to hear from him in a short while. Shane Kennett ends up in second place after second and third earlier in the race tangled.
Jason didn't stop for the interviews. He's heading down pit lane. He's just going to go right to the tech shed and say, let's get this teardown started.
You can understand the impulse.
He might be a little bit lost in his emotions right now. And just like end of the race, I just go back, right, guys?
Right. Well, we'll see what they have him do here. Yeah, he's got the hands out. What do I do now?
Now he's stopping, asking for directions. You know, it's not his first day here at Road America, but he knows. He's like, hey, I'm supposed to be back there. They didn't stop me.
Well,
We'll forgive him.
Staff on the grid will get that sorted out. While they do, a chance to hear from our first national champion, Hans Peter, with Hayward.
Hans, they call it the National Park of Speed. That did not look like a walk in the park to me.
No, it was fast in the beginning. I mean, it was really. I mean, I had really good luck all weekend, but I didn't really think it'd take me 17 years to win another one of these. I finished second 3 times in a row. I took several years off to race with my son, and but I can't be proud enough, happy enough. Merle really worked on me this year. He put me in the car a lot more. He coached me, gave me some new driving techniques, and that was the difference.
Well, it was a great race for you. Is this the second championship?
I think it's my fourth.
Fourth, but a 17-year gap. Quite an achievement, sir. Enjoy your victory lap.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well earned. Didn't realize it had been so long, quite frankly, but did a fantastic job. And when Merle Swan's supporting, you're in good hands.
Yeah, for sure.
Legend in SCCA open wheel racing. Congratulations, though, Hans Peter, on that 4th title. Let's hear from second and third now with Hayward.
Shane, a great finish for you here, the second podium spot. How does it feel to be on the podium here?
Oh, it feels great. This is my first runoffs ever, first full season in the car. Great to avoid all the accident stuff out there and bring home at least P2 for the old girl.
Well, congratulations to you on the silver. We're going to bring the bronze finisher up. Come on up. I was talking to, I believe, your mother in the food line at the block party, and they described your car as the little Atlantic that might. How does it feel to put it on the podium?
It feels awesome. We couldn't have asked for a better day, and I got to thank my family, my crew, my wife for letting us do this, making this all happen. Wouldn't have been without them, wouldn't be here. But it was a fun race, and I had a great time.
Congratulations on the bronze.
Thank you.
Well deserved for Riley Harris. I love that, the little Atlantic that bite. And how about it for Shane Kennett? We talked off the start about how experienced this field is. He was the only runoffs rookie in the field, and he comes home with a medal.
Yeah, unbelievable result for him in his first try.
Here's how they crossed the line, admittedly under reduced speed. But Hans Peter takes the victory over Shane Kennett. Riley Harris is just behind. The positions you see next to the names are their overall finishing results, but this is the correct order for Atlantic. David Burkett, John McAleer, John Norton, J.R. Smart, Bill Johnson, then down to James French and Dudley Fleck, what might have been for the two of them, and Jeremy Hill also misfortune early in the race. Already off on the victory lap. Skipped the chance to talk to Hayward because he wanted to celebrate, which gives us a chance to skip the winner and go straight to second and third.
Guys, we're here with Bart, who's our third place finisher, the bronze. I believe you are a local boy, are you not?
Yes, yeah, from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin.
How does it feel to take home take a medal for the runoffs home, 5 miles, 10 miles from here?
Maybe closer to 2 miles. Not the result we wanted, but really good. Glad the cars are in one piece. SCCA goofed up from the beginning on not putting us first in qualifying, and then should have split the restart. It was really, really ugly and hairy, but glad we're in one piece, glad everyone's safe, and really happy for Jason Miller.
Great, and on the podium, of course, and we also have Perry, our second place finisher. Perry, you're supposed to do the interview and then hug everybody. That's how it usually works.
Gee, I'm going to Ricky Bobby this. I don't know what to do with my hands. This was a miracle I pulled out of a hat somehow, thanks to Jessica, Steve. They've been helping me through the whole weekend, but boy, up to this point, we just had nothing. We showed up, the car didn't trailer well from California. We just kept working at it and working at it. We finally got something that behaved, but we were just not going to have the pace, and somehow, magically, the race came to us. So couldn't be happier, couldn't be more grateful for the support from Goodyear, Nicole, and Jay. They made my season what it was, even though I've got great help at home from Roger and Brandon Krause. George Dean, thank you, buddy. Thanks for putting up with me. Franz. Just, I don't know what to do with my hands. I just don't.
Well, this may be the interview of the day. You don't know what to do with your hands. The winner doesn't know what to do with his car. He's out on an unauthorized victory lap. If he comes back, we'll talk to him. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
The whole Kohler world is going to go nuts tonight. Of course, coming in second is one thing, but the fact that Jason Miller finally pulled off his runoff swim at home, that's a decent second. I'll take it.
All right, I'll throw it back to you guys in the booth. If we get the winner back, we'll have a quick chat.
May I kindly suggest a fist pump as maybe one thing you could do with your hands, Perry.
Yep.
Super well done. Came all the way from Los Gatos, California, and told me that his goal was just to control what he could control and let the chips fall where they may. Well, I'd say he did that about perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Yeah, and you know what, Perry's right. The Kohler clan is going to go absolutely crazy this afternoon. It's going to be one big party here in Plymouth.
So here's the way the prototype class saw the checkered flag. Jason Miller, victory lap complete. We'll hear from him shortly ahead of the Commodore, Perry Richardson, and Bart Wolf, who we heard from a moment ago. Lee Alexander dropped down the order early in the going, never could recover. John Godin, Tyler Thielman, Mike Rupert, Todd Parks, Richard Colburn, William B. Niemeyer Jr., Lawrence Loshak ended up in the gravel trap that brought out the final yellow. Todd Vandecore had issues early, as did Michael Moulton. Better luck next year to those two, and really to everyone not named Jason Miller, who had the dream performance here on home soil. That's going to be really special. And who can blame him for wanting to go and take that victory lap?
Who doesn't want to drive? As if he needs one more lap around Road America, but that's a good one to take.
No doubt about it. Well deserved. You really can't fault him one little bit, and we're going to hear from him here shortly as soon as he gets that helmet off, and maybe he's had time to collect his thoughts, maybe think about what to do with his hands when he gets to Hayward here. And the helmet is off, so let's find out what he has to say about that unsolicited victory lap, Hayward.
Jason, what better way to tell people you've never done this before than to take the extra lap before you come to talk to us?
Well, I sure do appreciate it. This is my hometown, my home track, with some wonderful competitors and a wonderful team and a wonderful wife and daughter and daughters. It was just a fantastic, racing. I've had it go the opposite way so many times, and I can't thank everyone and God and everyone for this opportunity, and SCCA. Just couldn't be happier.
So you took the extra lap. It was a moment to collect your thoughts, to enjoy the moment. You have tried so many times before. This is so important to you. This is your home track. What are the emotions? What do you feel in this moment of winning your first national championship and doing it in your car, your way, at your track?
It is. I did think about that, and it's such a blessing and an opportunity to showcase a car that so many people have given their blood, sweat, tears. Hoosier Tires have helped out. My crew has been working 16 hours a day since Sunday to provide a car that I could drive and provide to the fans and to the competitors. And I'm so thankful for all of that, for Kohler Company, Millennium. There is just so many people that have made this happen. I'm just the nut behind the wheel.
Well, here's the most important question. What are you going to do tonight?
Well, I can start by kissing all my daughters and my beautiful wife and thanking my wonderful parents for putting up with me and dealing with me. My dad's been feverishly working probably for the last 20, 30 years to give me this opportunity right here, right now, and my wonderful crew. We are just going to enjoy each other's company and savor the flavor.
Little party?
Absolutely.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That is as good as it gets. Congratulations to the hometown kid, done good right here at his home track, Road America. Well, it was a frantic finish to race one of Hagerty Race Days at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Combined Formula Atlantic and Prototype classes. Off the start, Hans Peter from the tire rack pole position accelerated away and really never appeared to be threatened. It was a different story altogether, though, in the prototype class. Totally mixed up and down day for several. Lead changed hands on a couple of occasions, including here. We thought this might be the move for Bart Wolf that would see him take the victory, but the race was interrupted by this incident. A couple of cars end up on the side of the road that brought out the safety car and bunched everyone up again. And on the ensuing restart, chaos erupted. It opened up an opportunity for Jason Miller, who went from third up to the lead. He took the lead and held it. Barry Richardson made the pass for second late in the going, and he would hold that spot to the checkered flag. Lawrence Loshak had an issue, which brought out the safety car for the second time, and then the checkered flag. As Hans Peter took home a long-awaited fourth national title, and Jason Miller is crowned national champion for the first time in his illustrious SCCA career, and he does it in front of the hometown fans here at Road America. That wraps up an exhilarating day of activity from America's National Park of Speed, but the good news is we get to do it all over again tomorrow. 9 more races, more national champions to be crowned. We hope you join us for it. For the entire team, including Tom O'Gorman, Larry McLeod, and Hayward Wagner down on the pit lane, also John Phippen, who's been up in the booth. My name is Ryan Marine. Thanks for joining us all day long. We hope you join us again tomorrow for Day 2 from the 62nd Annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
Choose joy. Choose the road. Choose your people. Choose your shot. Take it. Choose to get in there. Even better, get out there. That's it. Way out there. Choose your calling. Choose to really care. Choose to go for it. Just choose. We craft cars for those who choose to do more than simply move.
I wake up.
Shopping for tires used to really grind my gears. So many tires, and the thought of choosing the right one made me, Precisely. That's before I went to TireRack.com. I got the best deal hands down. My tires ship fast and free, arrive the next day like clockwork. Tire Rack even gave me 2 years of free road hazard protection. Precisely.
TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.